Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up 120. What am I reading in my little man cave? It should be My Little Man Disaster Arc, guys. I'm, long process of decluttering, and it's just gotten more cluttered. But if I'm getting rid of all my floppies for the most part, maybe a box or two of certain things that have not been reprinted that I want to keep a physical copy of. But I need to make room for the Omnis that I'm transitioning to, and just to make more room. And so I've been busy, and work's been busy. So this should have been Project Pegasus Part 2, because thinking I was going to do that in 1 or 2 episodes. I think I'm going to do it in like 3 or 4 episodes so I can talk a little bit more, and I haven't had a chance to really kind of type up notes. So I wanted to do a What Am I Reading episode. I haven't done one in a while. So I'm just going to talk about 3 or 4 things that I'm reading and tell you what I think, and hope you are entertained by it. I'm going to start with, I was a little upset that Avengers Assemble, the Steve Orlando Avengers Rapid Emergency Response, what is it? Whatever it is, the Avengers Assemble, which was the team inside the mansion. Steve Orlando was writing it, and it was Cap, their leather jackets. They brought in Night Thrasher book. It ended at 5. I thought it was an ongoing. Maybe they're putting things out, not saying what they are, and then finding like, hey, at the end of the first arc, we'll do this. But what they've done is they transitioned it. The stories of the Rapid Response team Avengers squad led by Cap moved to a series called Astonishing Avengers. It is a webcomic, one of the scroll. I'm just going to call them the scroll format. And it is by Steve Orlando, and I'm getting the artist's name because I got it in front of me. And the artist is Francesco Arcidiacono. I hope I said that right. And they've done 4 of these little issues. And I've read some of these strolling comics, and I do enjoy them. I really do enjoy them. Some are not for me, and I know what they're doing. They're trying to deliver comics in different formats and different ways to get different readers to embrace. And Marvel and DC do it because it's superhero comics. DC's done it, and they've actually adapted some of their stuff, like Hush and other events, into that format. And I think that's kind of cool. And it's a neat way to read a comic. It's just like reading a regular comic, except you just always scroll down, but the panels, and they play with it. The story of this is good. It's about Tyrannus is back, and I've been reading some FF where he came in recently in my FF read through, and I'm going to read some of him in Hulk because I'm doing my Hulk read through. So it's neat to see him, and I'm enjoying them. They're a little more all ages. It's very actiony. The art is, I do like the artist, and I do like the art. It is, every era brings in a certain, I don't think they're copying or they're styling, but I would compare this art, to me, is like the artist for Six Guns, Brian Hurt. That it is a little more cartoony, even almost Saturday afternoon cartoony, I think, a little bit. And I mean that in a good way. And I don't mean it like it looks hokey. I mean it just, the character designs are closer to that, but with, super detail, because if you look at X-Men 97, the show that was on Disney last year, with the one it is the sequel to, they are generations apart, but you still get that feel, and I get this feel. And I'm enjoying it. It is just, it takes a little longer to read it, I think, too. So, which to me, there's a lot more going on. You got a great lineup. I wish they put the roll call somewhere, because it's really a mix of both the regular Avengers book and the Rapid Response team. And like in this episode, it's got Captain America Sam Wilson. It's got She-Hulk. It's got Wonder Man. It's got Iron Man. It's got Hawkeye. It's got Elektra Daredevil. Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, Steve Rogers, Cap, Wonder Man. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and I'm having a good time with them. And I check them out because they've got one for X-Men, which I've read. I'm going to go back. I need to catch up on what the new X-Men stuff is. Some of it I like, but since I'm only doing it on the app, I'm not buying it. I'm a little behind. But I like the Avengers Academy, which is just definitely for someone in their tweens or early teens. And if I was like a kid and read that book, and it shows these kids in school, I mean, it's very Harry Potterish, and it's it's a school setting with the heroes that I've enjoyed. I mean, I need to catch up on it. It's good. The Astonishing X-Men one, some of them are good, but I recommend you read these strolling comics. Check them out. You may not like one or this one or that one, but I think you'll find something you enjoy. And definitely check out DC, where I'm gonna pick one of the events or big story arcs that they've done that I have not read. Like, I have never read Hush. I know, I'm terrible. I may read it in that format and kind of judge it there, and then read it in the other format later to kind of see what I think. But I'm enjoying those. I want to switch over to DC because the thing I wanted to, preface DC with, DC is hitting it. They're knocking it on all cylinders. I think it's the best the solidest the company's been in a long, long time. I like almost every of the all-in books. I've tried out every one, either digitally or had Pat at Velocity pull them for me. I think they're doing gangbusters, and I'm really liking. I like the mix of miniseries and new series. I like Mark Waid being in control. Actually, one of his books is not up in the top echelon. I mean, his Superman. I'm reserving judgment. It's a good Superman book, but it's not blowing my mind. But Justice League Unlimited, The Question, all that stuff is great. But I'm not talking about that. What I want to talk about is the Absolute books. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman have come out. Absolute Batman is Scott Snyder and Nick Gatha and Gabriel Walta, who I love. I'm discovering these guys more and more from other books. And then you've got Absolute Superman by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. This one is surprising me how much I like it. Really surprising me how much I like it. Jason Aaron, I like his stuff, but he's never hit a home run for me. He's hit a lot of doubles and a couple triples are harder, but he's doing it. I enjoy what he what he writes, but I've never been going, my God, what is this? I think this Superman may be, what the heck is this? Why haven't I thought this highly of anything he's written? Why isn't he kicked it? And it's with artists, it's different. You write lineup, and artists speak to everybody differently. We hear them and take them in. And I like Jason Aaron, and every time he picks up a book, every time he's done a book of a characters I've enjoyed it, but I've always wanted it to be a little bit more. This is a little bit more, and I think it's really going to be a lot more. The art is just stunning. I like the design. I like the fact that Jor-El and Lara and kind of the hierarchy in this new Krypton is the working class and the elite, and that they're champions of that, the working man. I'm going to say it in a horrible way, the peasants, the people at the lower rung of the economic ladder, the people who put our things together, clean up after us, and feed us. And I love that. I absolutely love it. That is my political leaning. Eat the rich. I'm not enamored with rich people. Millionaires and billionaires, I think most of them, I just don't give a shit. They're so unimportant to me, and they're the drivers of society, and it's just disgusting that the world is this broken, and that's my political bet. I'm left. And I like that. And I like it. And I like the way Aaron's writing it. I like the way he is Superman's a bit of a reactionary in how he decides where to fight and who. And I like Lois Lane is not a reporter, but I guess he's kind of like, I don't know, federal agent. She's a federal agent. I like that the Peacemakers are I like the Peacemaker Corps. I like everything that's going on. It's beautiful. And I kind of got lost track and wanted to talk about Superman, but I really want to go back to Batman. Absolute Batman. I didn't think what I've never really liked Scott Snyder's stuff is not sang to me. I didn't like his. I got disinterested in his Justice League at times because it wasn't a story I wanted to read, and it wasn't clicking. And I'd read other stuff of his, and I liked it, but he had never like Jason Aaron. He had never really. I want to understand why people really think so highly of his writing, and I'm trying that. I'm going in. I wanted to go into Absolute Batman because I wanted to see that because his Justice League hadn't really spoke to me. I haven't had a chance to read some of his indie stuff, and I want to check out that because I think that's probably where it's going to really rock and roll for me. But I went into Batman going, it looks weird. It's what that's an axe. It doesn't make sense, and all I can say is it is one of the best damn Batman comics I've ever read. I'm very picky with. I don't read everyday Batman, but once every 10 or 15 years. The Omnis are getting like No Man's Land and Nightfall and other things. Is me. That's the ears I like. But this is him and the Dragata. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. It's visually stunning. It is amazing. I like Alfred as a mercenary, and he and Bruce don't know each other. There's no relation. I like the change in origin. I like that, like given the opportunity to be the playboy guy, that he went a different way. They don't do that. It's a little more gritty, in that his friends are going to end up being his rogues. I like that he's Edward Nygma is a buddy of his. They went to school together. I guess that what's going to happen with Victor Fries too. These were the people that were driven by something. Bruce is his guilt, and I guess all survivors of a mass shooting. I think that was, yes, the single shooting is the single crime. I think using mass shootings, which are more and more common in this country, in America, as the things that makes him become Batman, makes sense to me, and it really sings. And the book is amazing. Every issue it gets better and better. The closest thing this is the closest thing in my brain to the level that I like, and the level it resonates with me, is Long Halloween. Loeb Sales. Their Batman is, oh my God, I love that style of Batman. That kind of just off kilter Batman, it seems. A little darker. This one, I'm really digging it. That said, and I'm also, sidebar, Batman Dark Patterns. Check that out. I've already read the first 2 issues on the app, and they blew me away. But the Absolute Batman gets better and better each issue. It is. I think this Absolute line is going to be great. I think it's going to be great. Okay, what to say about Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman, and Jordi Belair? Oh, what the fuck, man! This is. I think this is my favorite. I absolutely do. It was weird. I kind of read the Absolute Batman's one after in order, one, and the Wonder Woman came out and the Superman came out, and I held off and I read them all like a week, 10 days ago in a batch. I read the Wonder Woman, and it blew me away, and then I read the Superman, and it's blowing me away, but it hasn't hit this level. But I am absolutely in love with Hayden Sherman's art. It has a Jeff Darrow, Mike Aldred, indie kind of feel, and I absolutely love it. That she is an Amazon raised, that Cersei's her mother. She is the last of them, and she is her. Cersei is made by Apollo to create and raise this child for all her crimes. And it starts with how she's going to just let the child die, but the child saved its own life, from this snake. And she realizes, well, that's not going to happen. So we see in the first issue we get, and there's this great section where it's the little dragon lizard. Okay, she's Cersei creates the baby. She's just gonna let it die. Apollo says you have to do this. This is your redemption, whatever. So she creates a baby in the exact same way it is in what traditional Malt and Wonder Woman. But so Cersei leaves her to die. The baby could protect herself from a snake, so she decides to keep her alive. Be a mom to her. Not be a mom, but just make sure she's alive. She notices that animals will come up and hurt her instead of killing them like she would. She makes friends with them and shows them love, which I think's cool. And then we get to a section where 3 pages have the same panel layout. And you're seeing inside the cave where Cersei leaves, it's bare. In the first page, it's 4 panels. It's 2 pages, double page spread. And it's 4 panels on top. And you see time progress. You see them when it's just a cave with 1 pot. And then you see Cersei growing foods. You do all this. And they do this to show it to the point to where we get to the point to where Diana is a grown woman. And she rides then we get to see her fighting these monsters on Earth. Is it outside Miami? It's outside Miami, I think. And she's on a Skeletor Pegasus, it's just a skeleton of Pegasus. She's got this big double-edged sword. It's Gateway City coast. So I guess. Gateway City's West Coast. It's the way they're showing it. It's cool. It's actually nice that's where she's from. Just to say, it is visually stunning. It is sword and sorcery, and then we get to issue 3. Is it 3 where we get to meet Steve Trevor? But we get Steve Trevor's origin. We get all these things, and the mythos being on, and the building is great. This absolute universe is just blowing my mind. It's just blowing it. I just have not been this excited about something, and it's not like it's the first comic I read. All 3 of these have been ones that I've gone, I'm going to wait. I'm going to savor these. They're that good, and absolutely cannot recommend it enough. And there's so many good other ones coming out. We've got Al Ewing and Xavier. No, not Al. Dennis Camp, Den's Camp, and Xavier Rodriguez doing Martian Manhunter. Can't wait. Al Ewing is doing Flash, which is a Wally West Flash, and Green Lantern. Both. No, Jeff Lemire is doing Flash, and Green Lantern is by Al Ewing. So there's a lot. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to get all of them. I thought I would read the floppies for a while, get through the first arc, then I'll take them off my list and I'll buy the hardcovers or trades, or I'll figure a way to have them in my library if I want them in my library. And I want them, so I think they're that good. And I've just rambled on and on about it. But I think if you aren't reading them, you really should check them out. What else am I reading? Well, I want to talk about something I started a reread on, and that is The Mighty Thor. I have bought the first 3 of the little mini Marvel Masterworks. I was thinking, because I saw that Omnibus 5 had come out for Thor, 6 came out for Amazing Spider-Man, that they're going to go deeper into runs. Oh, and FF6 comes out in June. But I'm not interested in Thor enough that I'm going to go and buy 5 omnibuses. I'm glad I have the FF Volume 1, but, I'm discovering that maybe some of the Silver Age Marvel isn't connecting with me because I didn't read a lot of that when it was only 10 years old, because I was about 10 years behind. But I do want to read Thor because my brother, Huey, loves Thor. Loves it, and I've read maybe 10% of what he has, and I respect his judgment. He's the reason I'm a Roy Thomas fan. He's the reason I'm a comic book fan. He's the reason I am a science fiction fan. He is a reason that I have these passions. And I was like going, you know what? I'm going to read it. So I got the first one, and I got the second one. Every time I go into Velocity, I'm going to see. I think they've got 4 out. I'm going to get them all, and then I'm going to move on to somebody else like Daredevil or Namor, stuff like that. So I have that Doc Strange. So I have it, but I'm not paying a bunch. And I do the Smallville version is actually kind of cool. There's 3 cat ones I read. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I'm only 8 issues in, and it is. I didn't realize he'd be fighting the commies as much. Some of the plots are like half-ass Mission Impossible plots, except the good guy is Thor. He isn't saying these and thous, and it's just he just all of a sudden Loki comes in. It's not like, who are you? Oh no, he remembers being Thor, but he still talks like Don Blake. So is he Don Blake in Thor's body? The division isn't really clarified yet. I think it's going to do it soon. But he's fought, he's fought commies. And he's helping the police like a superhero. And I know why. One reason a lot of people like Thor is because you get a mixed bag. One story is mythology, one story is sci-fi adventure, or sword and sorcerer, sci-fi superhero, you can mix it up, and that's great. That's what makes Thor a good character. But I hadn't read him, and God, it's rough. It's been rough, and it's kind of I'm laughing, a good-hearted laughing. It's like, wow, world's a different place. But I'm looking forward to it because by the end of the first volume, the little mini volumes, you got some Tales of Asgard. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for when they mesh the mythology to it and then tell you that these guys aren't gods. They're just aliens who posed as gods or acted as gods to early humans, which is kind of the twist in. That's the way I vision Thor. He is not a god. He's not a demigod. He's just a highly evolved alien, as is all of them. So it works. And see, I'm a Hercules guy, not a Thor guy. But Thor I'm going to enjoy this. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I know I'm going to get to stuff that is great. I really want to see him when he is battling like Mr. Hyde and some of those other wacky, some of the supervillains that were his 60s and early 70s supervillains. And I mean, most of what I read of him is the Keith Pollard era and then the Walt Simonson era and then on and off in different eras. Like I've read some of Aaron's. I am collecting all of Al Ewing's and going to read it as a project when his run ends. Or maybe I'll start. It looks delicious. It just looks delicious. And I'm very excited about it because I know he's going to do Thor right by me. That's the big 3 things I wanted to talk to you about. I'm reading a lot of other things. I kind of posted the list of the order of my read-throughs. I hope you guys are following. I know a lot of you jump in, and I don't write a lot. My writing's, I'm a terrible, I don't proofread what I send. It's just laziness on some of my tweets. And X's and skies. I will probably be off of Twitter by the end of this month. I just can't. I can't. Facebook may be going after soon. I might just be a blue sky, and Instagram's okay. I don't get oogied out, and just go with that. But all that said. I'm reading a lot of other stuff. I'm really actually starting to enjoy Ted McKay's Avengers. It's just kind of, it's good. It's good. It's not great. It's good though. I mean, I'm entertained. I'm really liking West Coast Avengers. I want to see where Duggan goes with it. I'm interested. I hope it's longer than 5-issue miniseries. I am enjoying all the DC All In for the most part. I think. Adam Project's going to be an online one. I think it's going to be one of those ones where I read it and I want to read it. The Justice League Unlimited, The Question, and the other books that are kind of intertwined, different things are going on in it, are really good. Really good. And then in Marvel, it's just basically Avengers right now. I mean, it isn't. Ghost Machine, loving all of it. I might have Kirby or someone, if they want to, if you are reading some of the Ghost Machine, if the horror ones are interesting to you, drop me a note, and if you'd like to come on and maybe talk about it or chat, and then if see if you want to come. I want to kind of talk about the horror ones because I'm not a horror comic guy, and I've really enjoyed these, and I just want to kind of chat with somebody who does and hear what they think. Somebody who's a follower of horror comics. Billy, I don't know if you get the Ghost Machine stuff because you don't get you don't get floppies anymore. But there's some good horror in it. Okay, folks, that's it for this week. We're gonna get back on track this week.